Hello, Patriots, and welcome to the Liberty Evolution Radio Hour. We are using our First Amendment rights to inform others about liberty here, and we thank you very much for joining us. My name is Gabe Holmes, and this is Adam Keller.
Thank you. We're just messengers. We're here to spread ideas with you. We hope you spread ideas with us. Please be open with us. We are at libertyevolution.me. You can email us at adam@libertyevolution.me or gabe@libertyevolution.me.
And we welcome your comments and any input that you have, and take a look at our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/libertyevolution, and post as much as you want, any videos, anything you find, news articles. We want to have a community here where we can discuss with each other and help each other win our arguments so that we can be better messengers for the message of liberty.
What we're going to talk about today is what our definition of the Liberty Evolution is. Then we're going to talk about the Ron Paul Revolution and how it sparks our evolution into a nationwide movement for liberty.
That's right, Adam. This is a movement. It isn't just a groundswell of support for any kind of individual candidate or party. This is a movement of millions of Americans who have seen the transgressions against our liberty. They've seen our Constitution erode before their eyes, and they've felt the pinch. Everyone has their own personal experiences, which have brought them into this movement. And what we realize here is that there are others who they just walk blindly in their lives, and we need to show them the state's hand in the cookie jar. We need to get them to see things the way that we do, befriend them, and get them to trust us and know our message and understand our message, because we know the truth about what's going on here, and we need to get others to see that truth too, because if we don't, we won't have a chance against the powers that be. This needs to be on an individual basis, one-on-one interaction and talking and proving your arguments.
One thing to always remember is to be respectful with that argument. If you exit the argument degrading the person, they're going to leave the argument with a bad picture of your idea in general. That would be a stereotype in the future they would use against the whole movement. You need to stand up, have facts, be educated. Always question what you read, back it up, and then relay it and make sure you know what you're talking about.
And one really important thing about proving your arguments is you need to understand history. You need to spend a lot of time reading about the founding of this country and understand especially the Federalist and Anti-Federalist arguments and what the role of government is. I'm sure that if you're listening to this broadcast at this point, you already know what the role of government is. It's to protect our liberty and our lives. And government's taken on other roles over time, and people continuously, they ask their government to do things that government wasn't intended to do. Invade foreign countries based on a lie, for instance. Or to invade people's homes and take plants that they had planted themselves out of their houses and take their property. Why do we ask our government to do things like what was decided in the Kelo versus New London, Connecticut decision, where now your local government can confiscate someone's private property and so for the purpose of a private enterprise being able to build on your property, so they'll have more tax revenues. That isn't a public purpose for more tax revenues. I mean, if that's the goal of our government, then I guess they might as well just take everything.
We've gotten away from the point here, so let's go back to defining the evolution. We really have the keys to a mindset, and that mindset puts the power in motion to actually change your perspective on life. Stop asking the government for permission for your freedom. Stop complaining. Don't be so negative. What you do, you just take your sovereign being and project freely how you believe in freedom.
Yeah, you believe in positive things. You know, you believe that an individual should have his own will to live his life how he wants to live it. You believe that property which is acquired justly is has a sole owner, that person who acquired it, and you believe in the rule of law and the Constitution of the United States, and you believe in the separation of powers. And so other people, they don't look at things the way that you do. They say that they believe in liberty or freedom, and they say, "Oh, I love democracy and I love America," but they don't understand what America was intended to be, a free nation where there is individual sovereignty and there is state sovereignty, and over time we've kind of centralized authority. We have, as individuals, have given up our own liberties to be manipulated by a central authority, and it needs to stop. Honestly, this will of people to give up liberty for security, to people believe that they can't secure the blessings of liberty themselves, that they need the government to secure the blessings of liberty for them, and that's totally false.
When we talk about a voluntary society, we must respect private property rights. That is the core of the voluntarist method.
You know that you benefit from helping someone else. I mean, that's kind of what capitalism is all about. It's you're providing a service for someone else that they really need, and you're just the guy to be able to provide that service for them, and you both benefit in a fair system. You know, and if there's a system of law that says you should not rip that person off or take his property by force that you want, you know, then we live in a voluntary society. You volunteer what you want to provide for someone else, and they volunteer to accept it. But that's not the system we have right now.
The system we have right now contains a monopoly, a monopolization of the money, the food, the workforce. Every aspect of life there is bureaucracy. They're imposing tax dollars, that is approximately 25% of your workday, on programs that you had no say in. They have corporate interest and lobbyist influence.
Right. They collect a substantial portion of your personal property is given to corporations that build cruise missiles and airplanes and bombers and gear for soldiers in order to invade other countries. I mean, you paid for that. You didn't volunteer for it, though, and that's the thing, is that at the very least, I think one thing that we should try to lobby in our government is an actual part of our. We should know exactly how much of our money went to what government action. You know, I mean, is it so much to ask that our government is spending our money that we know at least what part of our property went to fund some war or to fund some government bureaucracy that sells guns to drug cartels, the ATF namely?
A lot of you answered in our recent poll that you wanted us to talk about the Federal Reserve. I think it relates to what we're talking about now, because they have the monopolization of the money, which in turn goes with the food, and everyone acts because they're hungry. I mean, you only are trying to feed yourself, feed your family. When it comes to the Federal Reserve, they are the king, the top of the pyramid, and they are so secretive.
Right, that's the thing, is if you want to let's say, buy a little chunk of property and build a garden for yourself. You have to get a loan, and you're going to probably get a loan from a federal bank, a bank which is funded by dollars printed by the Federal Reserve. Why can we not expect that there would be market factors to where if there's big enough demand for people to buy their own property and grow their own garden, that the market would not be able to provide them opportunities to be able to do that? Why do we need to depend on the printing of dollars in order for people to be able to get loans? It doesn't make any sense to me.
When it comes to bringing an outside entity, or in this case, Federal Reserve, the government being an outside force, you're inferring that the free will of the people, they won't take care of each other. They won't have value or currency. They can't take care of themselves. You think humanity goes out the door if there's not someone governing us.
That's the thing also, is that it's well established if you read about the people who advocated for the establishment of the Federal Reserve, they had a totally different viewpoint about what America is supposed to be. They wanted a command economy. They wanted the central government to control our economy. They did not have faith in the market. They saw the pollution caused by the coal-fired factories and the labor strife, and they said the private sector cannot regulate itself, and that is responsible for all of the major controls on the market by government. Is the idea that the market can't control itself? But now we're seeing a different thing. We're seeing the government involvement in the market, and we're seeing the market involvement in government, and that's namely the corporations. And we can see from experience, especially recent experience, that government control of the market and market control of the government leads to huge bubbles in the housing market and bubbles in this market or that market. And when those bubbles burst, it's catastrophic. In a free and fair market, anything that is demanded will be provided by anyone else, and as long as we have liberty, we can protect our own rights through our representation. But if people don't understand liberty, they're not going to elect the right representers, and our system of law will break down, and it has broken down. And we, as liberty-minded people, we need to reverse this trend.